A couple years ago, I moved back to Minnesota and looked out on our new backyard and thought, I should build a rink. Having basically never skated outside as a child, being that I didn't know how to skate and didn't learn until I moved to California, a story for another time, I had no idea where to start when building a rink. So I started looking around and came across NiceRink. It actually looked like pretty much everything I wanted. It was an entire all-in-one kit, and it looked really easy to assemble and looked like it would handle the slope in my yard. I ordered one up, showed up, and I started building it. That first year was almost a total disaster. I mismeasured my slope, and it almost made the rink completely unskateable as I dealt with all the problems that came from not knowing how much slope I had in my yard. Second year went much better. I learned from a lot of my mistakes and thankfully didn't have unskateable ice and added some nice things like backstop netting and a light box that really sort of added to the experience. This year is my third time building a rink, and I think I've got it down, maybe? Who knows? You always run into unexpected problems when you're building a rink. So I've got some ideas for some improvements to make over last year and thought I'd document the process along the way. I'm gonna cover everything from storage to building to dealing with slope and other problems, and some of the accessories that I've built like backstop netting and overhead lighting. Anything else that comes up along the way. We'll see where this goes. But first, let's head up to the attic and get everything out of storage. When I first bought the rink, I didn't really realize how much stuff I was gonna have to store in the off season. And last year I bought even more stuff like supports for the netting, poles, extra goals, shooter tutor, that sort of stuff. And so I needed a place to keep all that stuff. And so I ended up building a platform up here in my garage attic to keep it all so that it's out of the way during the summer. I got all of the brackets and poles for the netting and the goals and other sort of training stuff out of the attic already. So the rest of it now is the NiceRink bumper caps, the kick plates, and the NiceRink boards, which I will now get out, hopefully with some help. Finally ready to pound the first bracket, and I've gotten everything out of the attic. Last weekend I marked off where I was going to pound all the brackets in and put spray paint down. You can see the green lines maybe. It makes it a lot easier to follow a straight line when you're pounding the brackets in. Taped off, measured halfway down my rink, and that's where the first NiceRink bracket will go. Alright, so when you're putting your NiceRink brackets in, you want to line up the first spike right on your line where you want the channel to end up on, and then you can start by standing on it, balancing with the hammer, wiggling it in as far as you can go. This is easier the softer your ground is. And then you can finish it off with the mallet. With the first bracket in place, I'm gonna grab one of the boards and go ahead and slide that in where it would go when it's all said and done. Lines up about halfway into here. And I'll take the next one, make sure it's on my guideline, and line the bracket up here. Go ahead, remove the board, put the spike in, do the dance, and pound it the rest of the way out. Now you can see the board fits, maybe. The first two brackets in, we can now do this the rest of the way around. That's all for today's videos. I got most of the boards up. I left some of the brackets out in the corners, which some of you experienced rink builders may have seen. but that's mostly for dealing with slope and for some of the different boards things I'm gonna try this year with plywood boards on my deep end and stuff like that. So stay tuned for the next episode. We're gonna talk all about slope and dealing with slope, how to measure your slope, and the problems that come along with slope, and what happened my first year when I had a total disaster based on mismeasuring my slope. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, and follow along as we build a rink outside in my backyard. Thanks for watching.